भारत का शिक्षा मंत्री श्री धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी, प्रोफेसर राघवेंद्र तनवर जी, चेयरमैन ICHR, प्रोफेसर कुमार रत्नम जी, सेक्रेटरी, प्रोफेसर अरविंद पी जमकेडकर जी, आज इस समारोह में पधारे हुए अन्य महानुभाव, and my dear sisters and brothers, I am really very happy today that I am able to come here, participate in the 50th years of ICHR, this function, and also happy to inaugurate an exhibition on freedom struggle and participate in this valedictory function of the Golden Jubilee celebrations. Friends, at the outset, I must tell you, I was so much impressed, inspired by the exhibition that I have inaugurated today. And I personally feel that all our youngsters should visit and see this exhibition. For that, as Dharmendra ji was suggesting, it should be digitalized at the earliest so that it reaches the larger section of the people. And I am particularly keen to see that my fellow parliamentarians of both the Houses of Parliament, they also visit this because it is in Delhi and the Parliament is in session, so that they also will be able to appreciate the great contribution made by those great people and also the good work done by ICHR. I am also very happy that Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, who is heading this ministry, has a clear vision about the roadmap for ICHR and the untold history has to be told. Now it is time. We have already neglected our textbooks, our curriculums. Our entire narration should be focused to tell the story of the great freedom fighters, including revolutionaries, the youngsters. The exhibition, the part of it is below 20 years, martyrs. The sacrifices they have made, the untold miseries, the torture they have undergone, and the great sacrifices they have made has to be told, retold, and told again and again to our younger generation. I was just thinking, before the younger generation, the present generation also must really follow the life teachings, preachings, sacrifices, and contribution made by these great people. History must be history. History must be real. History must be evidence-based. But unfortunately, in our country, because of the influence of these colonial rulers, they have distorted the history. Those distortions should be removed at the earliest. And the factual story of the freedom movement, the revolutionary acts of our youngsters those days, they should be presented in a well-documented manner. And moreover, the national heroes, who are the national heroes? Whoever works for the nation, they are the national heroes. I don't want to call them as regional heroes. People in different parts of the country, in their own way, have contributed to the freedom struggle. But unfortunately, our history books, whatever mentions are there, it is not in depth about wide-ranging various contributions made by various people in different parts of the country. Indian history means India's history. India means all the provinces, all the regions, all the religions, all people, whatever contribution they have made, it should be documented and it should be presented to the people and to the world at large in a realistic sense. The ICHR has chalked out a plan for a series of exhibitions under the broad rubric of the freedom struggle of India, 1757 to 1947. There will be also an exhibition, I am told, on the revolutionary movement, another one on Kashmir through the ages. Kashmir through the ages. I understand these exhibitions will be organized at different centers across the country. This is a commendable initiative and must be implemented earnestly. Public will receive it positively. We are seeing that documentation or the picture Kashmir files. There is tremendous amount of enthusiasm among the people. And it's nothing to do with politics. Unfortunately, in our country, people have the tendency to make everything controversial. And also try to give it a political color. What is political color? Factual, actual, and textual. Things being presented to the people. Why should there be any politics, any politicalization? Today's exhibition, the first in the series, has been designed to highlight the spiritual and cultural inspiration to Indian freedom fighters. Spiritual and cultural. This is an aspect which should be known by all the nation lovers. The spiritual and cultural inspiration they derived, how they derived? Right from Mahatma Gandhi. Their quotations. They are brought about in this well-documented manner, in the short time that was available, the way it was documented, and also I particularly appreciate that they were able to correct the photographs of those people, very rare photographs. That's why I told the team they have done a commendable job in that short period. The nation should always be grateful to the sacrifices, innumerable sacrifices made by the freedom movement, people in the freedom movement. I appeal to people, once again, particularly to the younger generation, and also the policy makers at various levels, to visit such exhibitions, and also the ones that are going to be put up in different parts of the country in their respective regions in Indian languages. All this effort should be done in Indian languages, because Indian people, they understand their language more. English also is required for those people. They should also know the actual this thing. But basically, for the countrymen, it should be told, it should be written, it should be documented in the respective mother tongues. You are all aware, in March 2021, the Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, has announced Azadi Ka Amrita Mahotsav to commemorate India's 75 years of independence. While thousands have laid down their lives during the freedom struggle, we know very little, unfortunately, about many such heroes unsung heroes, untold stories. Azadi Ka Amrita Mahotsav is not only a time for celebration, but also an occasion to recall the struggles and sacrifice of all the celebrated unsung heroes of our freedom struggle and pay our tributes to them and get inspiration from them. My dear sisters and brothers, mere chronicling of events is not history. Historian committed to truth, however unpalatable it may be, provides a comprehensive and objective account of past events. In a sense, history connects us to our cultural and social roots. We must get back to our roots. It gives us an opportunity, an identity, shapes our collective consciousness, and reminds us of our legacy and the ethos. Ethos is very important. There is a fall in values, standards in every walk of public life, which is really worrisome. We must visit the ethos, our legacy, draw inspiration from them, and re-establish the ethos, the values, the standards in every walk of public life. Sometimes I really get depressed when the standards in parliament, the standards in legislature, the happening in different parts of the legislature, they make me worry about the future of this country. Because the legislators, parliamentarians, they are expected to set up standards, maintain standards, so that others, the youngsters, can draw the needed inspiration. My dear sisters and brothers, in the Indian context, despite our geographical variations, linguistic, religious, and ethnic diversity, we share quite essentially Indian values such as brotherhood, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence. Everybody must be tolerant to hear the other's views, tolerant to respect the people's mandate. You must be tolerant to respect the people's mandate. Democracy is the best system available in the world. And in democracy, the verdict of the people is important. And if you are not happy with the verdict, you must work to regain or gain the confidence of the people. That is the only way. There is no shortcut. There is no other remedy that is available. One should have patience. We should not become a patient of impatience. We must have the patience, bear with the time, and work hard at grassroots level to get the confidence of the people in whatever manner. And share and care is the core of our foundational values of our civilization. Sharing and caring. That's part of our civilizational roots. We consider our entire country as one family. Vasudhaika Kutumbakam. These values defined us and remained constant in our civilization history. Kings and kingdoms changed over time, but these values remained a guiding lodestar to us. That's why I say we are all fundamentally Indians first. First Indian. अटक से लेकर कटक तक, कन्याकुमारी से कश्मीर तक, हम सब लोग भारतीय हैं. We should have our own local identities, but at the same time the national identity, Indian, Bharatiyan, that should be remembered and they should be practiced. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, we are all Indians. This has to be remembered by one and all. If we earnestly learn about our roots, it can unshackle our minds of any inferiority complex we may have. Recounting tales from our freedom struggle will not only remind us of the importance of nationalism, but also of social harmony and brotherhood. Why we lost our freedom? This has to be understood. The caste, creed, sex, religion and these divisions, they are artificial. And these barriers has to be broken. So social harmony can be brought in. The social evils has to be tackled. The discrimination on the basis of society, social background, discrimination on the basis of gender, discrimination on the basis of religion, that should be ended. And these are the challenges before us because vested interests, they are trying to bring these things forward. I always say in public life, people with character, caliber, capacity and conduct, they has to be promoted. They need to be encouraged. They have to be selected and elected. But unfortunately, efforts are being made to replace those 4 C's, character, caliber, capacity and conduct, by the new C's, that is caste, community, cash and criminality. Very dangerous trend. It should be curbed. It should be curbed and should not be encouraged at all. People who do not have the original C's, they try to encourage the 4 other C's. So I appeal to the youngsters, please stand by people who have got character, caliber, capacity and conduct. I have always been vocal about objective re-evaluation of Indian history through fact-based research. Selective or incomplete accounts of Indian history and retelling of historical facts through an ideological viewpoint will provide a distorted view. This is another danger. This aspect must be borne in mind by students and academics of history. I believe that there is every need to bring about to light the stories of unsung Indian heroes. Heroes means heroines also, many of whom were limited to mere footnotes in history books. Their individual stories must be documented to reveal their pains, struggles, sufferings, and the great pride with which they fought for the motherland. My dear friends, the history tells us, partly at least, the struggles by peasants and tribals those days. That should be given prominence. They also fought against the oppressive economic and social cultural policies of the Britishers. Those spontaneous upsurges were led by marginalized people with limited means to fight. These revolts are a true testament to the unflinching courage of Indian peasants and tribals. We must not limit the history of our freedom struggle to those fighting with an institutional means. It is also important to appreciate and shed light on the immense contribution of ordinary masses who fought the Britishers without any organizational backing. It is our duty, our highest patriotic mission, to remember the supreme sacrifice made by our freedom fighters and their noble struggle to wrest independence from the colonial rulers. I, my part, took up the mission of retelling some of the valorous acts of our tribal fighters by writing about them in my Facebook accounting. Similarly, I wrote extensively about our freedom fighters' bravery and sufferings in the cellular jail, Andaman. I must compliment the ICHR for bringing out a 4-volume dictionary of Indian matriarchs. Our universities must partner with specialized bodies such as ICHR to take up research and strengthen the scientific writings of history. History should not be a niche subject monopolized by chosen few. The gateway to authentic history should be open to all. This also calls for tremendous amount of work to be done in the domain of translation of literary and historical sources and accounts of ancient and medieval ages. School textbooks should extensively cover stories of brave heroes and mention about their life journey. My dear friends, once again, I am grateful to the Education Ministry and also the ICHR for providing me this wonderful opportunity. I have another program at Rashtrapati Bhavan, so I am not able to spend much of my time with you. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.